just come to the end of my speech. And I turned and faced my father's coffin. And I said, "Dad, may you rest in peace." I stepped off the platform, and my brother came up to me with tears in his eyes. He embraced me, and he said, "I wish I could have done that. I wish I could have said a few words." We turned and watched as our father's coffin disappeared behind curtains. And I suddenly asked myself, how did I manage to get up and speak? And then I remembered that first time. You all remember that first time when you're standing there in front of an audience, and I was trembling, I was so scared, I was off the stage faster than a rabbit. Or the other time, I remember this very well. There I was, chatting away for 10 minutes, and I had a tap on my shoulder. "Stop speaking, please. Get off." I was devastated, so I had to do something about it. And then I remembered when everything changed for me, when I confronted the rock. I believe all of us have rocks that stand in front of us, that stop us from fulfilling our potential, for us fulfilling our goals. Mine hit me when I was a member of Toastmasters, and I had been a member for a year. I had completed 5 speeches, and then I came to a grinding halt. I didn't know where to turn. I did not believe that I could complete the 10 speeches in the Competent Communicators Manual. I felt like quitting, and it annoyed me, and I didn't know what to do. But Toastmasters is a strange thing. Everyone knows everything. Because out of the blue, I got this call from the then division governor, who calls me up and says, "Pedro, I hear you're having some trouble. Here's a challenge for you. Go to a contest, be their contest speaker, and you'll get some great feedback by way of evaluation." So I did. And I delivered what I thought was a really good speech. However, 6 evaluators disagreed with me. They said 6 different things about my speech. I was not usually gobsmacked, but I was gobsmacked. I had one person said, "You used the Matrix." Matrix? I thought it was a film. What's that going to do with my speech? Another person said, "Oh, you used the AIDA method, didn't you?" AIDA? I was thinking, opera? That's the only AIDA I know about. Not me. No. I was just speaking. The best was last. This guy got up and he said, "Do you know what? Your speech was like a sumptuous chocolate cake that has to be savoured, slice by slice." Okay, what? I didn't mention chocolate cake once in my speech. So I went away. I was more depressed than ever. I was down on my knees thinking, this is ridiculous. What am I going to do about this? My club saved me. I came back to my club and I started going on about how people didn't understand my speech and I was useless at speaking. And everyone said, "No, you're not. You just keep going. Do you need some help?" Well, I'm a stubborn person. I said, "No, I don't need any help. I can do it myself." No, I couldn't. And eventually I opened up and started speaking, and people started giving me advice. And when I started to apply that advice, I noticed the rock started to shrink. I was given a tip: record yourself, listen to yourself. Well, that's true. If I don't like what I'm listening to, well, how else is anyone else going to like what I'm listening to? So I did. I recorded myself and I started to make improvements. My rock started to shrink. Then I started to video myself. Again, if I don't like what I'm looking at, well, no one else is going to like it either. So I started making improvements in how I looked, and how I was dressing, and how I was standing. Guess what? My rock began to shrink. Then I started doing evaluations. Evaluations was great. I got up and I started listening to other speakers. I started making improvements. What happened? My rock began to shrink. And then on that fateful day, when the priest stood up and he said, "Would anyone care to say a few words?" though my legs were trembling, my head was just full of emotion, I jumped up onto that rock, over it and onto the platform. I was ready. And I was ready to tell my mum, my brother and sisters, and the rest of our family the story of my father's life. Walking out of the chapel, I turned to my brother and I said, Paul, you asked me how did I manage to get up and speak? I had help. I had more help than you can possibly imagine. Fellow Toastmasters, I leave you with this. If you face a rock, something that is stopping you from making any progress, all you need to do is ask. Help will come.